on my way to Jaguar Nashville to shoot a quick video on the prototype I-Pace that they have at their lot right now. We went to the premiere party last night, which was awesome. It's always nice when Ruth Chris caters. Well done, Ronnie. But yeah, so to qualify myself on this, I've driven a lot of cars through Full Octane Garage, but particularly Jags. I've driven just about every Jag, new and old, that's available out there. And as far as electric cars go, I've driven every model of Tesla. So I have a feeling going into it about, or an expectation of what I'm going to experience. And this will be really interesting to try it out and find out if my expectations are going to be accurate. I'm going to be riding with Craig Bushin, who is the Nashville Jaguar SVO manager, and he's very up to speed and very energetic about these new electric SUVs from Jag, and I think you're going to find this terribly entertaining. So, be there soon. Hi, and welcome to Full Octane Garage. Today we have Craig Bushin, who is the SVO manager at Jaguar Nashville, and we have the unique opportunity to check out the 2019 Jaguar I-Pace, their first step into the EV world, and boy did they step in big. So this is a 2019, right?
It is 2019 I-Pace. It's the first one we've had on the ground to show and tell. This is actually a prototype, but it's basically the same vehicle that's coming out to the market. We're excited about it because the technology that's in it, like right now, you can't pick it up on film, but the regenerative braking system on this, you're looking at 80% of the braking on this vehicle is done by that regenerative braking. So that means that, at 50, 60,000 miles, you could still have half your brakes left on the vehicle.
I drove it a little while earlier this morning, and I think I could do an entire 25-mile trip to work and never actually use the brakes.
Right. No, it's once you learn the personality of the vehicle and you learn that one to drive with one foot, okay, which is counterintuitive to what we always believe. We're gonna have to brake when we pull up to a light. A lot of times you can pull right up. If you time it right, it'll roll right up to a stop or barely just a tap of the brake. And it's a great feel too, but it's a more comfortable drive when you're driving that way as well. And so once people get behind the wheel, you look forward to driving this vehicle.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, I did a little homework before we started today. 394 horsepower, 512 pound-foot of torque.
That's right. And all speeds.
Oh, that's interesting. There's no power band.
There's no power band. Right. It's on. So if you're going into a turn, so think of it this way, if you're going into a turn and you learn to use that regenerative braking in its most aggressive mode, you're going to come into that turn, it's going to slow itself down, and you're going to make that turn, and you have torque vectoring by braking in this vehicle, right? You're going to come around that turn, and as soon as you're going through that turn, you can stand on the accelerator, and your 512 is right there, and it's all the time at all speeds, and that's just something we're not used to with an ICE product. Internal combustion engine, just something has to move to make the vehicle move. There's a lot of parts that have to happen to make that happen.
So heel towing and double clutching goes right out there.
That's exactly right. The race is over. That's the thing. As a gearhead and a person who had special vehicle operations, and we have some remarkable internal combustion engines with superchargers and 575 horsepower. They're fabulous. But the future of speed and handling and really safety is vehicles like this, like the I-Pace. This is the most rigid vehicle we've ever built. It's the safest vehicle we've ever built. It's the future is here now.
So this car, just to get some stats out of the way, it is starts a little over $70,000. This one, nicely equipped and all, will probably be around $90,000.
Yeah, if you want to put a lot of stuff in it, yeah, Right. You're not going to go over 100.
It's got a 240-mile range, but that's kind of a sandbagged range because it approximates the worst driving conditions and things like that may not be what you're normally doing. The range includes, it factors in driving style topography, which I thought was terribly interesting.
That's right.
Yeah, so that's a lot of technology going into it.
Well, when you look at the stats that are coming out, Jaguar is extremely conservative. There are manufacturers out there that will really want to entice people with a lot of stats, and this is what you could have, and a wow factor. Jaguar is being very conservative with their numbers. I think they're smart in doing that. I believe, and the amount of time I've spent in these vehicles, and even when we were out at conference a few months ago, and the numbers I was seeing, I can say were better than what are being stated. But what's this, we have a lot of empirical data right now. Now we're going to get them out in the real world. We got Waymo, they're involved. I think they're getting 20 to 25,000 vehicles as well. And so we're going to have a lot of strong data coming back in the near future. And I think it's going to be, I believe it's going to be better than that. Right. That's just my professional opinion. And you got a 90 kW battery in this. One of the things that, James, that people look at is the range anxiety, right? How long? What if I want to take a trip? Well, it is an issue in the electrical industry, in the EV, that range anxiety does exist. If you're at 234 miles on this, you will, if you were planning a route to go see grandma or go see your family, you could program in the vehicle and it'll tell you there's an app that'll show you where all the charge stations are. If you can find a 50 kW charge, which is going to be a lot of your commercial stops, you're going to go from 0 to 80% in about 80 to 85 minutes. Okay? If you can find a 100 kW charge that's out there, you're going to go from 0 to 80% charge in about 40 to 45 minutes.
Now everybody's going to compare this to the Tesla Model X.
Sure, and they should. That's what we want. Tesla doesn't, though. Because this is the first time in the history of the automobile industry, that a legitimate luxury performance brand with an iconic name has built an electric vehicle. You get in this vehicle, you know that the fit and finish,
that's Jaguar,
is done. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
And I like Tesla.
So aerodynamics. This is this car's got a lot to talk about as far as the advancement in that. I did notice when I first walked up to it, there is no rear windshield wiper.
Right. Think of it as self-cleaning. You can get so good in the wind tunnel, that that drag coefficient, as you control that air. I mean, think about the resistance. Resistance is the enemy to range, right? So you'll see as this thing is breathing through the front growler grill, coming up through the hood, and we know we have shots of that. It's going to go right over this vehicle, come right out down the backside. This is a wind tunnel. They spent a lot of time cutting clay with this vehicle because that drag coefficient has to be, in check. I mean, the bottom line is that you could gain or lose several miles in one charge. But look at James, what do you think about the look of this vehicle? It doesn't look like you would think a vehicle would look in the EV world. Right. No, I'm glad I'm not going to bash a brand, but I'm glad we got away from the Leaf idea. Kudos to Tesla for paving the way and saying that an electric vehicle can still be a car that you want to drive. That's right.
But then Jaguar came along and said, well, let's make it a luxury vehicle that meets the marquee standards.
That's right.
I mean, the interior, what color is this, camel or something?
Yeah, when you get into the tan, the London tan interiors and the almonds and there's so many, you get into the fit and finish of the interior of this vehicle, the stitching. You look at the dash work, and what we're in right now, I mean, think about this. This is a pre-production vehicle.
Right.
Typically, you get in a pre-production vehicle, and you got overlook that little gap right there. The reason that this rattles over here is because it's a pre-production. This thing is solid as a rock.
0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds.
4.5, and let's just think of it this way. Keystrokes, some software updates, it can go a lot faster than that.
Well, let's talk about sound, because this, and I wrote the name down to it, but it has active sound design.
That's right.
I thought that was very intriguing.
That's right.
So they decided not to pipe in a V8 muscle car
That's right.
as you're barreling down the road. It sounds more like a jet engine spooling up to me as you go faster and faster. And you can change that volume on that to nothing.
3 different levels, that's right.
Right, so that's a great touch. Okay, so it does have it has an active ride suspension also. I know the vehicle, it can actually traverse 20 inches of water. I read that. And you can actually change the ride height of the vehicle.
That's right. So, believe it or not, you could take this thing through water, like you're saying. It's a sealed underbelly. It's going to have your triple sealed doors. It has a lot really of its sister brand, Land Rover, an aspect of the air suspension that's in it, the strut system that's in it. It is a capable vehicle. What I love about this vehicle is that you are attached to the driving experience. And that's important. There's an emotion to owning a vehicle. This is a vehicle that I believe you'll wake up looking forward to drive.
At about $20,000 less than a comparably equipped Tesla Model X or Model S, the Jaguar I-Pace should certainly be a prospect on any EV buyer's radar. Its combination of good looks, grace, technology, and performance definitely make it worthy of the Jaguar marquee. Craig and I spent the better part of the afternoon driving the Jaguar I-Pace, and there are so many options and gadgets and abilities of this vehicle that the only way to truly experience it and take all that information to make that comparison as to what your next EV will be would be to come down to the dealer and try one out. The Full Octane Garage would certainly like to thank Craig and Ronnie and all the rest of the guys down at Jaguar Nashville for giving us this preemptive look at the new EV vehicle for the Jaguar lineup. We certainly want to know what you think. Is the new I-Pace the big boy on the block in the EV market, or will Tesla come out with something on the luxury side to compete with the Jag, and what else is coming out in the market? Leave your comments below. Let us know which way you would go on your first or next EV purchase. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. If you like our videos, please give us a thumbs up, leave some comments down below. Don't forget to subscribe, and please follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for joining us at the Full Octane Garage. We'll see you soon.